Hey everyone, it's Armor Gaming. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Monster Legends. We are going to be going over the most used relics in the game as well as the most used talents in the game, or the top talents and relics in the game. So at least this is a huge proxy, or a good proxy for the top. So this is data from the top 100 players. Huge shout out to Monster Legends Competitive Wiki for putting this together. Link in the description to both of these blogs if you want to follow along. I'm going to start off with the relics. So I think the last time, the number one relic was Laser Beam Sword. To me it was a surprise. A lot of players were like, no, of course, attackers use it. Again, to me it was a surprise. I thought it was going to be a revival essence, but we'll see. Over here, the talents, we'll just get into it. No need to give my opinion. Let's just see what is top of the top. So let us go down, and look at that. All is right in the world again. Revival essence. So, 125 total uses, 66 on offense, 59 on defense. Moving down, we have the Laser Beam Sword. 59 on offense, 46 on defense, 105. Again, Laser Beam Sword to me, personally, I don't like using it as much as I love using Cane Sword. I love being able to heal HP, especially on my monsters, right? There's times where my monster's HP will go to 0 and Cane Sword still kicks in, then it heals. It's crazy, it's awesome. Laser Beam Sword, I know it gives more damage increase, but sometimes I ask myself, do I really need that extra damage to still OTK or to finish off the enemy? Like, a lot of times, if I'm using Unrelenting Assault, my monster will do an attack, damage the enemy, Unrelenting Assault will kick in, I'll do another attack, and they'll die. Whether or not I have the Laser Beam Sword, I think I would still kill them. So I don't really understand using Laser Beam Sword. I still think King Sword being able to heal is a lot more beneficial, but to each their own. Tiny's Amulet, this one makes sense to me. Recovering stamina, right? That's what Tiny's Amulet does. When the word stamina is below, yeah, gain stamina. There's so much stamina drain. I do definitely need that. Master Staff, recovering stamina, totally makes sense as well. 86, 105. Let's see, Morg's Armor. This is just a huge shield. I'm surprised they didn't cross it out and put Dialab's Armor. After being damaged by a skill, deals dark damage to the attacker. At the start of the battle, gives armor, to the wearer. Alright, so we have Morg's Armor. Cane Sword, there it is. Gorgeous. Here, let's take a look at this. 60 usage, 2 Laser Beams, 105. Even if a monster can hold double Sword Relic, instead of Laser Beam Sword, double Laser Beam Sword, I would go ahead and do Cane's Laser Beam. That's what I do. I do some damage increase and Cane's. And lately I've been thinking maybe I should go double Cane's. That's a lot of heal. So after hitting a target's life is below 50, deals an additional 12,000 points of special damage, and if your life is below 50%, you can heal up to 62k points. That could mean the difference between losing a monster or keeping a monster in the battle. So yeah, Cane Sword, way to go with me. This shield right here, this will drain a ton of stamina from the attacker. Nabotis' Armor, Cane of Atlantis, I mean, pretty straightforward. And now we get into the Obsidian Relics, right? I honestly think the only reason these aren't number one is just because they're hard to level up and they're hard to obtain. Even though this is the top 100 players, it's really like a opportunity cost. Like, is it really worth to invest a ton of gems into these Obsidian Relics when the diamonds honestly do just as good? And since not a lot of other players have the Obsidians, why invest your own resources into it? Like, I recently spent 300 gems to get one Obsidian chest, and it ended up being something craftable. So totally makes sense to me. It also makes sense that the Wingsu Sword would be the number one, considering Laser Beam Sword is so popular. And this one does, what, 38 points of water damage to enemies. Like, an additional 38. So that means if you have double Wingsu Sword, that's 38 and 38, what is that, 76, and double that, 162k additional damage from it. So I can definitely see why that one is so popular. Let's see, we have Ruchel's Armor, and I think I went over these last time, but let's go through them again. Again, I'm not that familiar with the Obsidians. At the start of the battle, gives armor, and then when the turn starts, heals. Oh, nice! This one heals and gives an armor. Hyrum Shield, this one deals earth damage. Personally, I love using this on defense, combined with, like, if my Megaton monster can hold a... If my Megaton monster can hold a shield, I'll tend to do... Let's see. I'll tend to do the Hyrum Shield, and if it can hold an armor, I'll do Morg's Armor, and then I'm dealing dark damage, earth damage, plus I'll have, like, a Bark Hide or quick Mud Body for quicksand damage. So the whole thing on defense is, can you chip off a coin from the enemy? So I like to do that. Let's see what else we have. Lord Nabotis' Sword. How does that compare to Wingsu's Sword? Maybe because Wingsword's sword is craftable. After damaging, deals 38 points of dark damage, and if the enemy has nightmares, could deal additional damage. So it all depends on whether or not the enemy has nightmares. Revival with stamina increase. Jazz Mask, I use this on most of my attackers. Pump Seed Salve, drain stamina. What the heck? I'm surprised by this one. Healing, right? I feel like, I guess most of the time, you want stamina recovery. So you want Tiny's Amulet. So that one surprised me. Yeah, 17. I don't know, it surprised me. Hyrum Shield, Charger's Amulet, Drain Stamina. And yeah, we can go through some of these. This one is craftable. No. Dream's Mask is craftable. This is one I might invest in. I might make like 2 of them. After being damaged by a skill, Warrior's life is below 50, removes up to 485 points of stamina from the attacker, and you give yourself stamina. So I'm considering crafting 2 of these. I think it's pretty good. Moving down, yeah, we just have a bunch of other ones. So you can see for yourself. I think it's mostly the top ones I wanted you guys to focus on. Oh, here's a good one that's worth talking about. Whoops, let's exit out of that. So this one is a good one. When the battle begins, the wearer's maximum stamina is increased by up to 135 points. This could be a really good one. I use it on my Thalassa typically. That way I can chain the attacks. Or if I'm in a situation where the enemy can Nebulines trap me and drain my stamina, this could give me just enough stamina to use an attack, and then I can somehow recover my stamina. So it is pretty awesome. With that being said, yeah, these are the top relics in Monster Legends. It's going to be interesting to see how, if at all, they change with the new addition of the Metro monsters. Let's take a look at the talents. So the number 1 talent in the game, no surprise here, Absolute Zero with 74 total usage, especially with the introduction of Qiaolong. I can definitely see this. I have been using my Qiaolong with Absolute Zero, and it's almost like not fun. It's literally any opponent I face, as long as I'm faster, Ignorance is Bliss, remove positive effects twice from all enemies, and then everyone gets Mega Frozen. Or if they don't have any Megaton monster, I'll just trade disable and Absolute Zero everyone. It's so cheap, it's not even fun. If people have spec, they could also spec Absolute Zero. So it's no surprise here that has 74 usage. UA is next at 65. Of course, mostly on offense. I mean, literally you Absolute Zero everyone, and then you just, any monster, literally, it doesn't even need to be an attacker. Any monster holding UA, easy win. Again, it's not even fun. Soul Drag, typically plop this on your attacker and you're good to go. For PvP purposes, I stopped using Soul Drag, and I mostly just use a Mouseron with 2 life rune, sometimes 3 life rune, and I run Mud Body because it's doing like 100k damage plus giving me quick sense to the enemy. So that's what I've started to do. Pain Distiller, this removes tortures and then deals damage to the enemy. The Toughies, we have Smite. This is the trait disabled talent. I actually don't use this at all. Yeah, I think this one came out with Lord Nabotis. I personally never use it. Mud Body, I love this one. This has become one of my favorites, especially on a rank 5 monster. It just deals so much damage. They have to be careful with attacking you, especially if the enemy has UA, right? They attack you, UA kicks in. Well, they got reflected damage from Mud Body. Now they got Quicksand, so now their extra turn kicks in. Now they take the percentage damage from Quicksand. If they attack again and UA kicks in again, more percentage damage from Quicksand plus Mud Body. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so good. So yeah, I've been maining this over Soul Drag. So Soul Drag to me not as valuable as a Mud Body. But let's see, 74, 65, 47, 46. Oh, these 2 are very close. Smite Mud Dispelling Fist. This one removes positive effects. All of you should be familiar with this. Came out with the I think this was the very first like exclusive one, right? I think it was. Because I remember using it with, was it one of the first? I think it was one of the first. Dispelling Fist. Or maybe it came out with Lady Meow. Yeah, I don't even remember anymore. Spirit Battery. This is used a lot. It's used to counter Soul Drag. Crystal Form, this one gives you Skill Mirror. Sin Eater, this removes negative effects if you have a torture on you. Static Shock, shocks the enemy. Banishing Touch, this is the 2-turn death countdown. Burning Hands burns everyone. Spiteful, I want to say it's dark damage to the enemy. 4 dark damage anytime someone dies or something. Chaotic Wish, this one gives you a random positive effect. Bark Hide, gives you a shield and deals residual nature damage. I will sometimes put this on my monsters if it's a war where there's a spec or a stock killer, because you have that nature versus magic. And then you have Revenge, which gives you triple damage if your HP drops below, is it 25%? So yeah, these are the most popular talents. It's going to be interesting to see how the new Metro monsters impact this. And what I mean by that is that the new Metro monsters can only hold street talents. So if players only start using, players are only going to start using specific cosmic monsters that can hold talents, how is the numbers going to change, right? Like if people use Qiaolong, then Absolute Zero will still remain dominant. If players are using 2 Metro monsters plus an attacker cosmic that can hold UA, then UA is going to be on top. So it's going to be interesting to see how this changes. And then I'm also going to love to see the rankings of the street talents. So looking forward to that. So once again, this is Monster Legends Competitive Wiki. Thank you for putting this together. Link in the description if you want to follow along. Thank you very much, and remember to subscribe.